This is amazing. Good afternoon. It's so great to have you all here. And I'm just personally delighted to be here with you, the Minerva University Class of 2024, with your family and friends, with the faculty and staff who have guided and supported you over the last 4 years, and with our Minerva University trustees and other distinguished guests. It's such a wonderful day to have us all here together. I especially want to acknowledge our Provost Emeritus, Vicki Chandler, who is retiring after an incredible career at Minerva. Vicki has set the standard for academic excellence that we will continue to follow. She has also been a shining example to all of us about what it means to commit oneself to student learning. Some of you heard this morning, Vicki couldn't be here to be with us today, but we all owe her a deep debt of gratitude, and please just join me in a round of applause. Thank you. Minerva University was designed with a mission in mind. As an institution, we strive to develop problem solvers, entrepreneurs, and wise leaders from every corner of the globe, and to weave them together as one community committed to a more safe and sustainable and equitable future for us all. The mission never ends, and the work it implies never stops. You, our M24s, are those problem solvers and entrepreneurs and wise leaders, sir. You're part of a Minerva community from over 100 nations, and you will be for the rest of your lives. 39 of those nations are represented in your own graduating class. As I think about the M24 journey, I'm reminded of the context in which it began. The week that our M24 undergraduates began their Minerva University journey, deaths from COVID-19 in the US were at 1,000 per day. And that same week, the CDC authorized something that few of us had ever heard of called the Binex Now test. You knew before you arrived that you would have to navigate uncertainty and that you'd have to be resilient. Resilience, as all of you know, is not a matter of simply gritting your teeth. It requires us to discover sources of joy and inspiration. And you've done that at formal feasts and celebrations where you danced and sang, in forming clubs dedicated to art and music, films, theater, and the learning of new languages, and in the many unscripted excursions that you've taken together. For the past 4 years, we've endeavored to help you acquire the knowledge and skills to tackle the problems that you are passionate about solving. In your capstone projects, you've used data analytics to improve Formula One racing performance. You get into the very meaning of majority womanhood. You've researched protein functionality in mammalian and yeast cells and in bacteria. You surfaced the underlying causes of low performance in Kazakhstan's education system. Is something that is ready to launch combination gastronomy experience restaurant and glass blowing art studio. I personally witnessed one of you explain to a group of distinguished Silicon Valley professionals what an LLM actually is. What it most definitely is not, as they sat in mesmerized attention. You're ready now to follow the path of 5 graduating classes who've come before you. I am stunned by how much I enjoy spending time on LinkedIn now that I get to follow the careers of our alumni there. I recently watched a coffee chat between two of our alumni, Megan Cho, who in her young career has been a product manager at IBM and now at Google, and Anna Graves, a product manager at Capital One working on machine learning. Anna had some advice for you all. Bloom where you're planted, she said. Take the opportunity that you've been handed and don't think that anything is beneath you, because you'll see a lot of growth in places that you're unexpectedly exposed to. You all already know how to bloom where you're planted, and your ability to recognize and take full advantage of an unexpected opportunity is a Minerva alumnus superpower. You've done all this in an era of terrible uncertainty. It's difficult to watch the news wherever we receive it and not think that the world is falling apart. And indeed, one indication of the general state of anxiety is how often one sees the Irish poet William Butler Yeats' poem, The Second Coming, quoted in the news. That poem famously begins, "Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Near anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity." The Irish journalist Fintan O'Toole once noted that the more quotable Yeats seems to commentators and politicians, the worse things are. Yeats wrote that poem about 100 years ago in the aftermath of the First World War, in the midst of the Russian Revolution, and on the eve of the War for Irish Independence and its subsequent Civil War. This period in Irish history was one of atrocities and reprisals and immense turmoil. Chinua Achebe borrowed the title for his first novel from this poem on the eve of Nigerian independence. Things fall apart. And almost 100 years after Yeats wrote his poem, the Bangladeshi American poet Tarfia Faizullah offered her own response to it. "I have been twisting and turning across these lifetimes," she writes, "where forgetting me is what you do, so you don't have to look at yourself." Hers is a cry for radical empathy. As you begin the next phase of your journey, you have a profound opportunity to remember each other, to remain close, and in doing so, to keep each other honest in what can be a very dishonest world, to help each other to stay passionate about solving the complex problems that most matter to you and to all of us, to collaborate on a better future. Things do fall apart, but with great human effort, they also reassemble. Entropy is not our only law. How many of us here today can say that in our own recent memory, or that of our parents, or our grandparents, or even our great-grandparents, that a vibrant city, a vibrant community or nation we love rose from the ashes? Those of us who are in pain today need the others of us who are able to say, in the words of Buddhist monk, philosopher, and peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh, "The tears I shed yesterday have become rain." You will be leaders. of influential companies, of governments, of humanitarian organizations, perhaps of a university. Trust me, it will happen, surprisingly. My request of you all as you conclude this chapter in your Minerva University journey and begin another is that in all your interactions, you neither stoke fear nor shower people with toxic positivity, and that instead you say something wise and act wisely. Find simplicity on the other side of complexity. Wisdom is the only way a university like ours, conceived as a global community, can endure. And I believe the same is true of the world. This is why you're so needed out there. Believe in the friends that you've made and in the power of that reciprocal kindness. Believe in your extraordinary ability to drop into the middle of a new culture and to listen and learn with humility and curiosity. Believe in what you've learned about how to solve complex problems. And believe most of all in your collective power over the course of your lives together as part of this Minerva University community to bend the long moral arc of the universe meaningfully towards justice. No matter how far you go after today, stay near and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.